We have old Elon back, everybody. He took a 1-hour break from all of the politics and divisive takes that we're used to seeing to finally just talk about some work they're doing at Tesla and SpaceX at the same time. No, this is not how I thought this evening was going to go, but it's happening. Elon has tweeted that they have radically increased the design goals for the Roadster and that they're aiming to unveil it before the end of 2024. Most interesting Tesla presentation of the year probably has already been claimed now, and he's saying they're intending to start deliveries of it in 2025. So once again, the timeline has just been pushed back again, but they said it was coming in 2020. So at this point, how crazy is it to delay it another year? I'm just surprised they're actually talking about it, actually publicly acknowledging that the development is continuing. And I wish I could say that was enough of the update we're getting for the Roadster, but no, Elon didn't stop there. He said that it's an engineering collaboration between Tesla and SpaceX, which makes a lot of sense. It kind of aligns with the earlier claims that they wanted to put some kind of cold gas thrusters on the back. Elon's describing it as potentially being the most mind-blowing product demo of all time, in case the Cybertruck armored glass demo was not shattering enough to you. And as far as specs, he only gave us one, okay? He didn't detail what the updated pricing would be, what the kilowatt hours of the battery pack would be, or which cells is it using. None of that, but he did tell us that the 0 to 60 time would be under 1 second. Oh my god. Oh, how is that gonna be street legal? So that's the news, okay? That's just the update we got from Elon. I bet there's a bunch of engineers at Tesla that are probably just now hearing about this for the first time. Their offices are on fire and they're likely panicking because they didn't realize that this was possible. So I would also like to explain my interpretation of these reports, because keep in mind, my biggest criticism of Tesla, and I have a lot of evidence to back up these criticisms, is expectations. That's one of Elon's greatest strengths and weaknesses, is he's way too optimistic and he usually makes very bold claims. And he's a really busy guy, right? He can't spend 24/7 on Tesla. He's got SpaceX, he's got Neuralink, he's got Twitter now. Somewhere in there you also got to make room for the Boring Company, and then of course 10 kids, but they don't require that much time, right? So that means I think there's a very real chance that he met with some of the high-up executives at Tesla and said, okay, you know what? We've brought the Cybertruck to the market. I think lastly, we should actually make the Roadster before we unveil the next generation vehicle platform. So what are we gonna do for the Roadster, guys? We're only 4 years late. Oh, well, if we're late, we better surpass all expectations. So let's put a massive air cannon on the back. I want it to do 0 to 60 in 0.9 seconds. I want it to have a top speed of over 350 miles per hour, and I want it to do all these crazy things. And then I picture Elon kind of leaving the meeting going, good luck, everybody. I hope you can figure it out. Kind of similar to the whole Cybertruck exoskeleton concept. Yeah, I want it to have 6 seats, and I want it to have a tailgate ramp, and I want it to have a quad runner option as well. How are we gonna do all of those things, Elon? I don't know, but I'm sure you'll do your best. And then we ended up getting the real Cybertruck, which doesn't really utilize the exoskeleton design. The steel is way, way thinner than originally promised. There's no tailgate ramp, there's no cyber quad, there's no more 6-seat option, but, you know, they had to cut corners in order to bring it into production. So with those kinds of expectations in check, try to look at Elon's latest tweets with that filter going, okay, Elon's getting a little more ambitious with the Roadster than originally claimed, and if you're like me, your reaction is kind of, okay, it doesn't have to be that complicated, okay? If you raise the design expectation so high for the Roadster that it ends up taking way longer to develop, or they can't actually get the 0 to 60 time in under 1 second, and that ends up delaying the product further, I'm not sure if that's necessarily better for the overall public, that, you know, either one Roadsters through the referral program, or my condolences to all of those rich people out there that wired Tesla over $250,000 over 6 years ago, back in 2017, when they wanted the Founders Edition Roadsters. Yeah, they still have gotten lickety-split for that giant money transfer that they sent to Tesla all those years ago. So I'm kind of more on the page of, let's just keep this simple. Does it have to be this crazy, like, flying machine? Elon's alluding in the replies to the tweets that this thing is actually gonna fly to a certain extent. Okay, I don't want you to get too ahead of yourselves here, because I want the product to exist. There's a lot of people that desperately have been waiting for this thing to launch, and let's not complicate it by too much, right? That's kind of where I'm falling, and I'm getting a bit worried that all of these really ambitious claims are going to result in the product becoming much more expensive than we originally thought, or get carried away with too many features that not that many people are going to care about. I think a lot of people really just loved that initial concept of just a $200,000 supercar from Tesla that had, you know, close to 600 miles of range or something crazy like that. It probably won't. But it's still, with a Plaid powertrain and just a smaller body that's less weight, I bet you could still beat the Plaid Model S easily on the track. Put in some luxury interior designs and just release a fancy car, right? Like, is that so hard? Are we not allowed to settle for things like that? We also have to bring SpaceX into the engineering decisions. Are we gonna have to get FAA approval to launch the Tesla Roadster? I don't know. I'm getting a little bit worried on how many of these promises Elon is making tonight that will not be delivered on, similar to how many promises we got on robo-taxis. You know, there's gonna be 1 million by 2020, or, you know, the Cybertruck is gonna cost $40,000 and go over 500 miles on a charge. Then we get the production version and we're like, no, it's $100,000 and it can go a little over 300 miles on a charge, but I guess we're supposed to wait for later trims. Maybe you'll have to have that expectation with the Roadster. While deliveries may begin next year, maybe all of the crazy specs we're expecting are not going to be ready at launch. But boy, there might be new meaning to that term, launching the Roadster, because it sounds like they're seriously gonna at least attempt to do this. It's at least a little bit more realistic sounding than, I don't know, humanoid robots taking over the economy. I have a harder time believing that, opposed to Elon strapping a rocket to the back of a car and selling it. Yeah, okay, he's sold flamethrowers, so this should be a little bit more interesting. It's actually getting Tesla back to its cool hardware roots instead of us all waiting to fall back on, oh, well, the software update is gonna magically make all of our problems disappear. I get sick of that with all the bot talk and all the FSD talk. It's cool that they're actually talking about delivering a product that they said they would deliver 4 years ago. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but at the same time very excited. I want to see what the new Roadster looks like. I want to see what the crazy performance metrics are going to be like, and simultaneously, is there going to be Roadsters that don't have the cold gas thrusters? Because a guy like me kind of likes the idea of two-seaters that are more efficient and easier to park and that kind of thing. So Tesla's next model, I think this is publicly acknowledging it. Roadster, at least according to Elon's own timeline, should be delivering before the next generation vehicle platform. So before Tesla builds a $25,000 car, they just have to deliver their $250,000 car. Sounds legit, right? What do you guys think of Elon's crazy ideas? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.